UFC Vegas 76. These are the full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Main event, Strickland fights Magomedov. Looking forward to talking about each of the matchups on the card. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Also note, I'm out of town this weekend, so it's going to be the one-off. I will not be live for the Fight Companion, but don't worry, I'm back for UFC 290 with the heat and every card after that throughout the entire year. So yeah, it's just a one-off. We'll be back with fire. Let's get into the picks here. Let's start it off. First fight of the night, Guram Kutateladze versus Elves Brener. Pretty one-sided fight to me. Guram comes in, dominates Elves Brener. Easy pick in this fight here. Guram's got nasty kicks. He's got that bouncy striking style. You know he can close the distance and grapple a bit. He's got fairly fast hands. Elves Brener on the other side. He fights Zabaira and he definitely lost the decision. He won the fight, but he should have lost. Look at the opponent before that. He beats a 3-1 fighter. He now is fighting Guram Kutateladze, who has been in there with some of the best in the world. Ismagulov, competitive split decision loss, and people argued that he could have won that fight. Wins against Mateusz Gamrot, people felt that he lost that fight. But if you look, that competition level is out of this world. He's training with Khamzat Chimaev. Elves Brener, I don't think is near his level. Obviously, I know Chute Box, Diego Lima. Elves Brener has Charles Oliveira on the team, but he doesn't seem to have those crazy good skills. I mean, he's a stance switch striker, has that lead hand low striking style, but I don't think he's going to like the pressure from Guram Kutateladze. I think you're going to see Guram back him up a bit, touching him up with strikes, maybe mixing in takedowns. Definitely want to see some kicks out of Guram, and I think Guram should win a pretty one-sided 30-27 decision. I'd love to say Guram is getting a KO, but Brener never finished before, and I don't think Guram has, the craziest of heavy hands. He'd have to put together some damn nice ones to put Brener down, and I just feel like more likely Guram is getting it done by a dominant decision. And don't be surprised when he clinches up, when he works takedowns, when he works some tie clinch. Guram by a unanimous decision's the call, and he's a really wide favorite, but he's a super confident pick here. Minus 550, Guram Kutateladze, Elves Brener at plus 400. I'm on Guram Kutateladze, as probably everyone is. Next fight on the card, it's Alexandr Romanov versus Blagoy Ivanov. I'm going to pick Blagoy Ivanov. Regardless of Romanov's beastly wrestling, he wilted so terribly against Alexander Volkov that I just question his drive to be a UFC fighter at this point. He looked horrible breaking in that fight. And now I know Volkov is a very good striker, a long guy at 6'7", and it was, a tough stylistic matchup when you look at it, hindsight 2020. But before that fight, Romanov was expected to bully Volkov on the floor. What we learned about Romanov, if he's unable to take you down, he starts to wilt mentally. And I think he's going to wilt mentally here because he's taking on Blagoy Ivanov, who is a combat sambo champion, a super experienced MMA fighter that's come back from getting stabbed. Alexandr Romanov also has weight issues. He was 264 for that fight against Volkov, but previous fights, he was starting to lose weight. You were seeing Romanov trim up. I scrolled over to his Instagram, and every recent post I'm seeing, we got chubby Romanov again, and I don't like fat Romanov. I don't think he has the gas tank to be elite. He was fighting Juan Espino, and he was starting to lose that fight. Obviously, technical decision win. But Blagoy is one of those matchups that I just think he's always dog tough. He's never overly impressive. He's a southpaw, veteran savvy guy. I'd say he's got pretty decent hands. Obviously, he's got solid combat sambo background, so he's good in the grappling department. I do like his lead right hook to left straight, which I think could find home on the feet with Romanov. I know Romanov also is a southpaw and is not, pretty adept in the stand-up. It's not like you're jumping up and down about Romanov's striking game. Where we see Romanov is this beast of a wrestler who bullies guys. And I mean, he's got some impressive wins, right? Vandera, Chase Sherman. No, that's not really impressive now. The one I was thinking of was him beating up DeLima, him subbing DeLima brutally. That was pretty sick. But aside from that, he doesn't have great wins. I think that in this fight here, the gas tank's a huge question. His motivation is a question. I'm going to pick Ivanov to TKO Alexander Romanov. As far as the odds, I got the underdog, Blagoy Ivanov, plus 120 for him, and it's minus 140 for Alexander Romanov. So Blagoy for the win. I'm calling it TKO. Romanov will get tired, and he'll get finished off, and I got to respect the Bulgarian savage getting it done here. And he beat Fedor in Combat Sambo. That's pretty badass, too. Next fight, we got Joanderson, Brito, and Westin Wilson. Joanderson, Brito by club and sub is the call. I don't see this fight as competitive. Westin Wilson is crazy tall, but his arms are only, 1 inch longer than Brito, which that's kind of weird, actually. He's 34 and he's making his UFC debut, and, he's a karate fighter. He trains with Wonderboy, and he's kind of like the great value Wonderboy. Brito should land big overhand punch, buckle Wilson's legs, and then choke him out. I'm going Brito, club and sub. I think it's going to be in the first round. He's got great bullying pressure. He's super explosive. He's heavy-handed. He's got a lot of pretty solid experience now. And you look at Westin Wilson on the other side. I mean, yes, I like the karate style, but I mean, you dig into him a little bit. He got slept by Teruto Ishihara. Ishihara, okay level. Brito is going to bully Westin Wilson, especially Wilson coming in on short notice as well. I'll give Wilson a little bit of credit from the karate southpaw. He throws a nice left, but he has those hands low, and he's also tall as fuck. That chin is going to be touched, and he's going to be down, and Brito, I think, is going to strangle him, though. So club and sub is the call here. Brito is a minus 850 favorite. Westin Wilson, plus 600 as a dog. Yeah, Joanderson Brito should absolutely destroy him. It shouldn't be competitive at all. I'm going submission, Brito, official club and sub call for Joanderson. Not a close fight. Sorry to Wonderboy's boy, but I think you're getting annihilated in your debut. Next fight on the card, ladies going after it, Ivana Petrović versus Luana Carolina. I like the Petrović side. I think that she's going to end up winning the grappling exchanges. Luana Carolina is so mid. Her stand-up is extremely awkward. She throws herky-jerky winged punches. Her movement's super awkward. She just doesn't have good technical skills. Now, she's a decent athlete. She's kind of fast. But I think that she's going to get bullied. Like, if Petrović has any skill as far as her MMA game goes, she has to win this fight against Luana Carolina here. I feel like you look at Petrović, you look at recent fights, she did get beat up early in her last fight, but then was able to find the win. She's got good ground skills. It's a solid takedown. She fights out of the southpaw stance. She's a physically strong girl. I don't like that sometimes she'll spam takedowns out of range, and I don't think Petrović is that high level. I'll tell you guys straight out the gate. It's just Carolina is not good. She's, like I said, just awkward, herky-jerky. She's just fast and athletic. I think Petrović should take her to the ground and control her. I think I'm going to go Petrović by decision. But yeah, if you're raining like money down, Petrović, you want her to hold your parlay up. I'd just be a little worried because I somehow have this weird feeling that Petrović could end up fumbling the bag against the worst flyweight on the roster. Now, is she really the worst one at Carolina? She's one of them. Petrović should win. Petrović for the win. I'll say decision. Maybe she locks up a sub, but I'm leaning the decision side. Minus 225 for Ivana Petrović, and then Carolina at plus 190 as the underdog. Give me Petrović. Give me win by decision, and keep me away from the bet here. Next fight on the card. Ladies going after it once again. It's Yana Santos versus Karol Rosa. I'm picking Karol Rosa to win, and I actually love that this fight is at women's featherweight. That is a bonus point for Rosa. I think that's going to really help her out in this matchup here. Now, Yana Santos, if you look at her resume, her last three, you see, oh, she beat Ketlen Vieira. I, to this day, feel as she definitely lost that fight. And then she lost to Aldana by KO and home beats her. So she technically could be on a 3-fight losing streak. Lost to Aspen Ladd by TKO. That doesn't look good, with the lone win against Julia Stoliarenko by a decision in there. So obviously, highest level of fighters Santos is not performing well against. I am just not impressed by Santos. Even though I feel like Karol Rosa has been a little bit of a letdown, I do think she's the better boxer. I think she's got nicer kicks. I think she's actually going to be a little bit better in the clinch than Yana Santos. She's going to be a little bigger physically as far as her muscle tone. She's going to have a little bit of size on her. I like Rosa striking better. I mean, Santos is going to try to tie her up in the clinch. I think Rosa is going to be able to match it. Rosa's hands are going to be more crisp, and I'll pick Karol Rosa to win a decision, especially at women's featherweight. I like this fight for. Now, as far as the odds for the matchup, Karol Rosa minus 156 is the favorite. Yana Santos plus 136 is the dog. I'm going Rosa for the win, but, I'm not going to be getting my popcorn and being overexcited for this one. She fought like 2 months ago. Dumont beat her. Lena Landsberg, that's unimpressive. Sarah McMahon lost. It's not like Karol Rosa's beating these top-level girls, but I really think she should beat Yana Santos here. I'm going Rosa for the win. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, it brings us to our featured prelim of the night. It's Kevin Lee versus Rinat Fakhretdinov. I'm picking Rinat Fakhretdinov to beat Kevin Lee. The Kevin Lee curse continues. I mean, regardless of the injury he sustained in his win over Diego Sanchez, he had a really clean, competitive fight with Diego. I was going to say clean win, but too competitive, man. Not clean enough. You shouldn't be that close with Diego Sanchez. And then you're going to fight Rinat Fakhretdinov. I just don't think Kevin Lee is that guy at 170. I never have. I never liked Kevin Lee at 170. He's a 55er that did well at 55. He just can't make the weight class. Fought for the interim belt against T. Ferg. I mean, he has moments in those fights. He's a pretty damn good wrestler. And I feel like Kevin Lee in this fight here, he's just taking an L. I can't pick Kevin Lee. I think that Fakhretdinov's a pretty beastly wrestler in his own right. He's got good top control. Doesn't always do a lot with it. He'll kind of just sit on you and lay and pray. But it works for him. Does have decent striking, lots of hooks and overhands. I'd say that Fakhretdinov is mostly a wide striker with kind of a grinding wrestling style. Kevin Lee on the other side, he's a good athlete. He's got okay boxing. He shines in the wrestling. I'm going to pick Fakhretdinov on a decision. I just think this might be one of those weird fights. I don't know. It might be lackluster, cage control, Fakhretdinov holding him, Kevin Lee trying to scramble, minimal effective striking, and then Fakhretdinov takes it on the card. So we'll go Rinat Fakhretdinov. Minus 190 for Fakhretdinov. Kevin Lee at plus 165. I'm going Fakhretdinov to get it done, which is unfortunate because kind of be nice to see Kevin Lee get a win finally in the UFC. Next fight brings us to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Nursultan Ruziboev versus Bruno Ferreira. I like the side of Ruziboev in this fight because Bruno Ferreira has never been longer than a round and a half. His entire MMA career is straight savage finishes in under 1.5 rounds. Majority first round, but he's been in the second round a little bit. He slept Gregory Rodriguez brutally in the last fight, and that was super impressive, but go back and rewatch it. Gregory Rodriguez was a sitting duck for the knockout punch that Ferreira cracked him with. Now, I feel like Ferreira does a good job of switching stances. He hits very hard, but his gas tank, there's a huge question mark on it. I'm looking at the fight against Rodriguez, and, he looks like he's starting to feel the effects of the fight towards the end of that first round, where ultimately he got a knockout. Ruziboev is crazy experience for only being 29. It's actually kind of scary how many fights he has. 34, 8-2. That's 44. This is 45th pro fight at not even 30. That's crazy. He's a really long striker, rangy kickboxing, has very good kimuras. He's solid on the ground. He's not super powerful, though. And actually, his way to win here is going to be sustaining the early onslaught of Bruno Ferreira and not getting caught with anything stupid. And then I think he can start finding home to strikes in the second round, picking Ferreira apart. And then I do think Ruziboev ends up submitting Bruno Ferreira on the ground in the second or third round. So I'm going Ruziboev for the win over Bruno Ferreira. I'm calling submission. It is going to be an upset. He's a slight dog at plus 110. Ferreira at minus 130. Also, note the size difference. 5'10 to 6'2". 6'4". 6-inch height advantage. There's going to be a range edge. Ruziboev has got pretty good kicks. He's getting this one here. And I do think he's going to win it by submission. You survive the early Ferreira storm, then you finish him off. Next fight on the main card, we got Benoit Saint-Denis versus Ismael Bonfim, the Bonfim brother that took out Terrence McKinney. I'm picking Bonfim to win. I think it's a pretty clear path to victory for him. Saint-Denis got good ground skills, and he's strong, and he can control, and, he's got some subs against some okay comp, but Bonfim, I think, is going to have the hips to stop the takedowns. The striking is levels above, and I think he's going to annihilate Benoit Saint-Denis in this fight. I'm calling knockout for Ismael Bonfim. Obviously, his last fight, he was super impressive against Terrence McKinney. He catches him with a sick flying knee knockout in his debut. His striking is incredibly dangerous. He's got a nasty left hook. He's got special explosion, and he's also technical with his stand-up, and he has a powerful stance. Even the way he comes forward, he throws multi-shot combinations, and his striking is just a level above Benoit Saint-Denis, and I don't feel as though Saint-Denis is going to be able to be consistent with takedowns and controlling a Bonfim on the mat. I think he's going to shoot, and I think he might even get caught with a knee up the center as he's looking to shoot. So I'm going Bonfim for the win, and I'm calling knockout win for him here. Now, as far as the odds, Bonfim minus 310 as the favorite. Benoit Saint-Denis plus 260 as the underdog. Give me the Bonfim side. Give me the KO side. I think he's going to put Saint-Denis to bed. Elizio Zaleski ended up beating Saint-Denis by a decision, but the ref should have stopped that fight. That was upper weight class at 170 also. I think Bonfim finds the kill shot here and gets another high-level win. This is not as big of a name as Terrence McKinney, but it's a good stepping stone matchup, and I'm glad Bonfim stepped in to take this fight. Bonfim, knockout victory. Next fight on the card, the ladies going after it. It's Ariane Lipski versus Melissa Gatto. I'm going to pick Ariane Lipski in this fight. Melissa Gatto is good off her back with her jiu-jitsu, but she always accepts bottom position, and then she tries to attack from the bottom looking for subs. Her hands are pretty weak. She does have decent kicks, but minimal punching power. Ariane Lipski, pretty solid kickboxer. The Queen of Violence nickname. She throws heavy punches. She comes with good straights. She's got a tight striking style. She's also never been submitted inside of mixed martial arts. So for those people thinking, oh, Gatto's easily going to sub her when it goes to the floor, Lipski's never been submitted. And I don't think this is the girl to sub her. I think Lipski's going to end up outstriking Gatto, stopping her takedown attempts, and winning this fight in what's going to be an upset. I'm going Ariane Lipski, the Queen of Violence, to pull it off. I do think decision because Gatto, it's not like she's getting chin left and right, but she could get hurt by a big punch and put out. But I'm going to pick Lipski on the cards. If you're looking to throw down on this one, I'd go money line. Lipski is plus 180 as the dog. She opened up as just a plus 130 dog, so the line is swelled. It's actually now even at plus 187. Gatto, the minus 210 favorite. I don't think Melissa Gatto should be 2-1 here. Go watch her fight against Sijara. She wasn't overly impressive. She has good ground skills, nice sweeps, solid jiu-jitsu, but I don't think Lipski is going to put herself into stupid spots to be submitted. And when they're striking, Lipski's better. So I'm going with Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski for the win on the judges' scorecards. And what is going to be an upset here, which I like seeing that. I like seeing that upset line. Next fight. It is the featured bout. It's Max Griffin versus Michael Morales. I'm riding with Michael Morales. I'm saying that he's getting to 15-0, but I recognize Max Griffin as a crafty veteran. He's coming off of a split decision win over Tim Means. Before that, split decision loss to Neil Magny. Notable names. He's fought good competition. Max Griffin is a pretty good striker. He's quick on his feet. He's got very good lateral movement. He's actually got pretty fast hands, and I feel like his wrestling's not bad either. He does have kind of awkward footwork at times. I feel like you can almost call him twinkle toes sometimes with the way that his legs move. Now, on the other side, Michael Morales looks like a pretty smooth kickboxer on the feet. Also a very good athlete and a prospect. The prospect that we got to keep the eye on, man. He's got good range striking. He's a great athlete. He's shown improvements, and he's actually showing effectiveness in grappling too. I feel like he's got this fight. I think he's going to have a speed advantage over Max Griffin. He's a little bit longer. When they tie up, I think that Michael Morales will have some success there. This is not an easy fight for Michael Morales. Don't think that this is a cakewalk, but to prove that he's really that guy, he's got to get through a dangerous fighter like Max Griffin. I think he's got the skill set. He's got the tutelage. He's got the knowledge. He's been schooled enough in the fight game to get it done. I'm going Michael Morales by a decision win over Max Griffin. As far as the odds, Max Griffin plus 205 as the underdog. And then Morales minus 240 as the favorite. He opened at minus 240. He's still at minus 240. Max Griffin plus 205. Dog. He's a difficult test for Michael Morales, but I just think Morales is going to have the gas tank. The youth is going to be a factor too. He's going to be faster. He's going to be better in the scrambles, and I do think he's going to be touching Max Griffin up. Looking even to wrestle a little bit, and I can't see Griffin having high success. If he does get Morales down, I can't see him controlling him and beating him up. I think Morales explodes back up to the feet and then finds shots. So we're going Michael Morales for the win, and he moves to 15-0, taking out crafty vet Max Griffin. Co-main event of the evening, Damir Ismagulov versus Grant Dawson. I'm going to be picking Damir Ismagulov in this fight. Grant Dawson has very good wrestling and he controls the fuck out of people, but he kind of has slow shots and like he'll get a hold of, his opponent's legs and drag him down. Ismagulov is not going to let him do that. Ismagulov fights using a very educated jab. He moves quickly. He's got that twitch, but I don't know. I feel like that twitch also gives him fast twitch reflexes because the dude is on point. I know he retired from the sport because he said some health issues. Obviously, is now back. So I tried to dig into it a little bit. I got no official diagnosis. I didn't hear exactly what it was or why he was able to turn around so quickly after thinking about retiring, which 6 months ago he retired. And now he's back and he's fighting Grant Dawson, which is a major fight. I think he scrambles well in the grappling. He'll be able to fend off Grant Dawson's bullying grappling attack. And note that Grant Dawson is a pretty average or even below average striker. He's kind of slow with his hands. I think Ismagulov puts stiff jabs on him, touches him up. I feel like Dawson will have some success, especially in the small cage with controlling Ismagulov against it. But Ismagulov is going to do more significant damage. He finds home. I'm telling you, that stiff jab is going to control the entire fight. I'm going to say Ismagulov touches Grant Dawson up and gets himself a decision win. And the hype on Ismagulov bounces right back after his short retirement. Minus 131 for Damir Ismagulov. Grant Dawson at plus 111. I like Damir Ismagulov to win. I think he's taken out Grant Dawson. Slight favorite here. It ends the Grant Dawson hype train. But, I mean, look at the opposition, right? Rick Glenn draw. Jared Gordon win by sub, okay. Mark Madsen win by sub. All right, I mean, like on paper it looks good, but Ismagulov lost Armin Sarukian, beat Guram Kutateladze, beat Rafael Alves, Thiago Moises. There's some names, Yoel Alvarez. Give me Ismagulov, give me decision, and I think he's coming back with a vengeance here and, keeping himself towards that top 15. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Sean Strickland versus Abus Magomedov. I'm going to be picking Sean Strickland to beat Abus Magomedov here. I can't pick the 19 seconds in the octagon for Abus. Now, there's a lot of footage of him fighting outside of the UFC, and you can see he's a sniper striking style. Actually, kind of looks similar to Damir Ismagulov, just obviously way taller and larger. Sean Strickland does a good job of finding his opponent. He's got good accuracy. He throws high volume. I like that shoulder roll striking style. I don't think Abus is going to just be able to kick at Sean Strickland and keep him away. I think Strickland's going to be walking him down, and I feel as though this fight looks very similar to Sean Strickland versus Nasruddin Imavov. Now, Abus, I do think is going to bring more fire than Imavov did. I think he's going to be throwing hard. But my question is this. How's the gas tank going to look in a 5-round fight? We don't know how Abus Magomedov goes 5 because we haven't seen it. Sean Strickland proven to go 5. He's got a split decision loss that people felt he won, and it was against Jared Cannonier. And look how damn good Jared Cannonier just looked against Marvin Vettori. Sean Strickland is creme de la creme, top tier in the UFC middleweight division, without a doubt. I think that he's going to find home to big shots on Abus Magomedov. Magomedov is going to look to engage in grappling and be very surprised at the resiliency and actual ground skills that Sean Strickland brings, because he's an underrated grappler. He doesn't use it, but Sean Strickland can definitely grapple. I'm going Sean Strickland for the win. I'm saying he gets it on the judges' scorecards over Abus Magomedov. As far as the odds for this one, Sean Strickland minus 170, the favorite. Abus Magomedov plus 145 as the dog. Higher level competition for Strickland. He's shown that his boxing is pretty high level. I mean, I know Alex Pereira caught him with the dynamite punch, but Strickland walks people down and he finds home to big shots. Abus is going to be trying to keep Strickland away from him. He's in the small cage, which means Abus is going to end up getting backed up. Strickland's going to get combos flying. I see a competitive 5-round war. Strickland taking at least 3 of the 5. 48-47 or 49-46. I think Abus in the first round might be able to get the nod on Sean Strickland because Strickland's going to have to adjust to the rangy striking style and the kicks. And I feel like Abus is going to try to mix in grappling to throw the rhythm off of Strickland. But ultimately, I feel like Strickland's takedown defense is going to be on point. He's going to let some hands fly in the feet. He's going to be touching Abus up. And I think Sean Strickland on the judges' scorecards, 3 out of the 5 at the least, but I also think 4 out of the 5 is very possible. Sean Strickland to win the main event, and we got to talk about Strickland potentially being in the mix to fight Israel Adesanya, regardless of his result against Alex Pereira and his other result against Jared Cannonier. I'm still really interested in Sean Strickland versus Adesanya just for the pre-fight buildup. Forget about the actual fight. The pre-fight intrigues me. And if Strickland gets past Abus Magomedov here, he's going to get that chance. Strickland for the win. Pretty good UFC Vegas 75 card. A little Apex fight night bringing some heat at the end with Sean Strickland and Magomedov. I hope you guys enjoyed the predictions. Definitely let me know your guys' picks in the comments and what you thought of mine. Much love to the people watching. Make sure you guys smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And also, if you got nothing to say in those comments, you just enjoy the content, as always, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Much love to the people. Look forward to the content all week, and unfortunately no Saturday live stream, but don't worry, it's just a one-off and we're back to normal for UFC 290. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.